Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media production. Today we're discussing Season 1, Episode 1 of Amazon series, newly adapted series, Invincible, based off the comic book character of the same name by Robert Kirkman. Currently, it is premiering on Amazon Prime Video as of March 26th. Stars Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons, as well as a variety of other individuals on the cast. We are just discussing Season 1, Episode 1 in this cast, so don't have to worry about spoilers for the rest of the season, as well as the comic book. I actually have not read the comic book, so we are only discussing this strictly from the perspective of watching the television show. So my knowledge of Robert Kirkman is basically his involvement in a variety of properties, mainly The Walking Dead. He's also, I think he is a comic book writer on Ultimate X-Men, Irredeemable Ant-Man, Marvel Zombies. So he's also got a variety of other brands under his belt. So Invincible first became kind of under my radar. One, because they're starting to advertise it a lot more. Two, Double Toast is talking about it, and they're big podcasts I follow. Three, a lot of people in between, some of my favorite podcasters slash filmcasts as well. They're also talking about Invincible as well. I believe David Chen said he's doing a Winter Soldier, Captain Winter Soldier recap show weekly, and he had wished he had done it on Invincible. I'm not saying I'm going back and doing what he wished he would have done. We're going to do one episode right now, depending on how we're feeling on the rest of the series. Might go back and finish the very last episode and kind of do a little roundup for everyone of how we're feeling. So, so Invincible. It is. Here's the premise: Mark Grayson is a normal teenager, except for the fact that his father, Nolan, is the most powerful superhero on the planet. Shortly after his 17th birthday, Mark begins to develop his powers of his own and enters into his father's lineage. So, the best way I could sum up this first episode of Invincible is kind of like one of many of those spin-offs that you've seen. If you're familiar with the Justice League, you got to know that there are these characters, just like I'm thinking of like SpongeBob, I believe, did a spin-off of the Justice League. It's like the Super Friends. There's a Superman analog. There's someone that's basically a Batman analog, the Flash analog, Aquaman analog. There's all these characters that are essentially analogs of the characters that they have in Justice League. So this first episode is kind of establishing, without going into too many spoilers yet, that there is this world that has been established. There is a Superman-like figure, and we're following that family, mainly in the perspective of his son. So, his son's voiced by Stephen Yeun. Ironically, Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead fame, and he's become way more famous now. I think he's mostly famous recently for Minari. So let's talk about the first episode. This is where we're going to start to get into spoilers for the first episode only. It's about time. When hulking villainous scientists, the Mauler twins, attack the White House, they are repelled by the Guardians of the Globe, and Nolan/Omni-Man, Nolan's son Mark, who is waiting for his they are repelled by the Guardians of the Globe, and Nolan slash Omni-Man. It's a pretty engaging scene to have for the first little bit of introducing these characters. Kind of chalking it up how I like to do it is doing the pros and the cons for anybody that is new to the LuckyDog podcast. I like kind of going through a little pros and cons list of things I like, things I didn't like, before I go into too much more of detail of the synopsis of what we're talking about. So overall, the action is what's really going to propel this. The story. There is a coming of age side to this show. I believe that the writing, the story, and all of the casting, that is really strong. That I guess goes along with the editing as well. But kind of branching off from the editing, I do like the actual editing of the show. However, I feel like some of the pacing, which might kind of tone with the music as well. I feel like the pacing of the first episode could definitely be picked up in a way. I do feel like it kind of dragged his feet in a way when I was just like, all right, I kind of feel the steps of this, what's about to happen. There's a slight predictability about it because I feel a little bit like this is overshadowed by The Boys, and The Boys have very much entered the realm of just kind of like flipping the narrative of superheroes. And I won't go to too much more detail about that, but it's kind of made me a little bit more wary of my superheroes. So Nolan's son, Mark, this is voiced by Stephen Yeun, who is waiting for his powers to emerge, goes to school and defends a classmate, Amber Bennett, from the bully Todd, who retaliates by punching Mark to the ground until Amber saves him. Which, Mark's not very, he's nothing like his father at this point in the show. And it's interesting to kind of see his evolution over this 40 minutes, which I kind of do feel like, even though it is 40 minutes, I wish it was shorter. And yeah, Amber's like, all right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, later, Mark's superpowers finally emerge, and he finishes work to tell his parents at dinner. While Nolan is initially uncertain, he still begins to train Mark on how to use them. You can kind of see how his father has been, even from the first episode, he seems to be the skeptic. He has something against the team at the beginning. We're not really sure what the problem is, but there is some sort of friction between Omni-Man kind of being OP, maybe a little overpowered. But then the Justice League together, they work phenomenally at the beginning when they're taking out the Mauler twins. But the thing is, there are these side glances that Omni-Man has, kind of even looking at his son, just, they really do have, with the editing, I do enjoy these little side glances, these little kicks under the table that his mother's giving by Sandra Oh's character. So let me see what else. So yeah, however, so he begins to train Mark on how to use them. The slow reveal of him getting his powers is a lot of fun. I do enjoy like how Nolan is discovering his powers in the majority of this. It's very kind of Amblin-ish feeling, almost like a Spielberg movie when the kid is discovering something at the beginning of the movie that just, sets it off for the rest of the film. However, wishing to emphasize the severity of being a superhero, Mark is caught off guard by his father punching too hard. Feeling hurt emotionally and physically, Mark blows off steam by stopping a robbery in a homemade suit. I do like the homemade suit. and they even got their own like little Alfred that they got tailoring all their stuff. The little training montage of well, it's not even like a montage. It's just literally him training his father, training him, which is very heartfelt. And I kind of feel like it's the rug is pulled out from underneath us at the end. But I will continue. Um, and his father punching him too hard. I mean, after the end of this, I'm ready for him to have his own way. Um, so Mark blows off steam by stopping a robbery in a homemade suit. Um, Stops the rock guy. Nothing too special about that. Some of the action effect I did feel was like kind of weird. It looked like a sticker was going across the screen of the character, and in a way felt like a really high budget film from like 2010 when it comes down to the animation style. I think this is 2D animation is what you call it, with a little bit of CG blended. Um, if I'm wrong, y'all just let me know in the comments. I'm not a professional animator or anything like that. I mostly, just talk about it. Don't dabble in it at all. So I don't know all of the lingo for it. So, anyways, after a heart to heart, so Mark blows off steam by stopping a robbery in a homemade suit. After a heart to heart with his father, Nolan takes Mark to meet superhero suit Taylor Art Rosenbaum, who creates a proper superhero suit for Mark after choosing to call himself Invincible later. This is kind of after when his dad says basically you are invincible. Later, Nolan entraps the Guardians and viciously kills them, all before falling unconscious from sustaining damage from the resistance. So there's this. Okay. So let me kind of wind back up. So we get the suit reveal. I do kind of like how he looks like a young Spider-Man at the beginning. You know, when Spider-Man was in the Tobey Maguire movie, when he was had his homemade suit. It would kind of reminisce of that. You know, getting the stopping the robbery of the thugs. You know, there's a lot of that kind of going in this first episode as well. And so he gets the suit, he gets the name, and then immediately we see all of the Justice League is like brought to this one location where I think is supposed to be like the bat cave or whatever. And almost immediately when Omni Man shows up and he's trying to punch one of the Justice League characters, um, it's just like, oh my goodness! Like I immediately knew that Omni Man was going to kill everybody in that cave, and the vicious way that he was doing started with the Flash, who is clearly supposed to be like a comedic character, even in like the Justice League that we just watched for Zack Snyder's. He's still supposed to be like the more comedic. They they have a scene in this with him being a more comedic character as well, and him getting his face squeezed. You're just like it's like you feel even worse for him, and so watching that go down in accordance with him, ripping War Woman's head completely, turning it and 180 it, and then destroying the Aquafish Man, and then ripping off the face of the Martian Manhunter guy. Which when the Martian Manhunter guy was being called, what the hell is he doing with that kid in that room, in the abandoned place? He was like, "That's the furthest I've had to stretch in forever, Sonny." And it's like, what is he doing with that kid? I didn't really understand. He's like the kid needed to draw chalk for the him to form back or something. I was very confused. So, anyways, Omni Man literally rips everyone's head off, or if not, bashes their brains in, and So we basically slowly have a reveal of who this character is, aka there's a character on The Boys that is almost identical to this. So I'm starting to see a pattern, especially because we're within the same company of Amazon, that they are enjoying this kind of nihilist character of the guise of someone good, but he's actually really heinous. So I did want to talk about that. It was quite a shock. I had heard that there was this big scene at the end of the first episode that was just going to change the game, and I thought it was going to be the death of Miss Grayson or something like that. And I was like, all right, so they're going to kill the parent, or they're going to kill Omni-Man, or they're going to kill somebody. I was like, somebody's got to die, damn it. And so um, when Omni-Man shows up, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have this entire Justice League here, and none of them are even up to par as being able to take him out. I mean, he just literally obliterates the Batman character. And all the thing is, the Justice League characters are so cool. I almost wish they kept them around. Um, I keep saying the Justice League, but they're the Guardian League, or what, the Guardians. But yeah, it sucks. They literally all get obliterated, and so my 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 guess would be is that we're gonna get an eventual showdown between him and his father, and that's just gonna be bang slam dunk whatever, and my biggest thing is, I guess I'm trying to figure out if everyone knows. I might have missed this. If everyone knows the identity of Omni Man and his family, because it seems that they don't. I don't think people would be bullying. What is his name? Is his name Todd? I don't think they'd be bullying Mark if they knew it. So let me see. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so I wonder if Amber Bennett's gonna come back, because it seems like she, might have some say in being able to save his butt at school. So hopefully he comes back. I will say I wasn't too thrilled about like the supporting cast too much. Besides the Justice League supporting cast, I guess Sandra did her job, but everyone else was like, all right. I mean, like the two guards at the beginning were not very interesting in my opinion. I feel like I was just a little bit sluggish, and that's where I kind of felt like, all right, we need to pick up the pace. We need to chop some scenes. We need to get it going. We need to get the party going. So yeah, my biggest complaint would probably be that the show might be a tad long, but other than that, um, I think it's a pretty solid entry as a pilot, and I can't wait to watch more. So let me know if I should do additional podcasts on Invincible. I might actually go ahead and record a couple additional ones for the Patreon. Be sure to check out patreon.com/LuckyDog Podcast. Thank you for supporting um, the podcast. You can support it on all the different providers on SoundCloud, YouTube, listen live on Twitch. Um, what else we got? We got all the links in the description on how to support us the best. If you don't want to throw $1 or $2 on Patreon and get all the Lucky Dog podcast early, we have all the podcasts we release early in full on there, and so um, you can also support 5 stars on iTunes. So thank you for listening, watching, Look It Up podcast, whatever you're doing to support. I appreciate it. 5 stars. Once again, take it easy.